Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Walk. My name's Gareth. I'm joined once again by Phil, by Vinny and by Steve, and we're just on the outskirts of the village of Roxby in North Yorkshire. We're here to look at a culvert. Now part of it dates all the way back to the late 1800s, part of it dates back to the 2000s, and there's a third part of it which is another date altogether. So it's got quite an interesting story. Now it was built to divert the beck, or what we would call a stream or a river, away from the mine workings of Grinkle Mine to stop it flooding. But in the end, the whole thing collapsed. Now here's a clue that there's been a collapse. Now as you can see, this whole thing's come down. Now there is an adit just there. Now maybe you can just make out if I lift my arm up. Now that potentially was going into Grinkle Mine. That's an iron ore mine, a very famous one in terms of shipbuilding, bringing out iron ore and having it shipped out up to the Tyne and building, well, the Queen Mary apparently was built from iron from here. Now as you can see, this, well, that looks old, that's new, and that, as Steve said, looks like the London Underground. But what we're going to try and do is get inside here and see the three different stages of this particular culvert. Sunglasses aren't needed once again. Now it's going to be a bit of a clamber to get myself in here. Now you can see it's, well, you can hear the running water, so something's going off in here which I can't see yet, which is quite disconcerting. Okay, so I'm inside. So this is Grinkle Beck, which is, it seems to be like a local terminology for basically stream or river. Now all this water was flooding the iron mine, Grinkle Mine, and they couldn't be having that. So they re-diverted this in the late 1800s, around about 1880, to basically, you know, keep water out of the mine. And then, what, 10 years ago was it? It collapsed?
Yeah. So Phil says with the dates.
Yeah, 10 years ago it collapsed. So this is obviously a rebuild. But as we get further up, I'm having to basically step just, you know, one of these to the next one. As we get further up, we start to get to the original culvert. Now, I'm normally one for a railway tunnel or a tramway tunnel, but we've been up in North Yorkshire making a series of videos which hopefully you've enjoyed. And so we literally, when we were doing the Grinkle tramway, we literally walked past this when we came out of the tunnel there. So we thought, the tramway tunnel, so we thought, you know what, why not? Let's get inside and see what it looks like. So what are these things here, Phil?
Well, because when they put this lining in, there's obviously a void beyond this lining, so they put the concrete in it. I don't know how they did it. They couldn't have pumped it from the top unless they outcropped, so maybe they pumped them through these. Oh yeah. It seems possible. I'm not.
Pump that full of concrete and then.
Yeah.
Well, someone in the comments might know the answer to that.
I want to fill the void.
Careful. Now obviously we come and do quite a lot of mines and caves and, you know, railway tunnels and tramway tunnels and things like that. And you always think like, oh, you know, they would have dug out a mine and then they'd have to, you know, build a pumping house or whatever, an engine house to pump all the water out, stop it flooding. But you don't realise that actually they were doing things like, you know, re-diverting rivers and stuff, like the engineering. You know, going back 150 years, and later, you know, longer ago than that, they were doing this kind of stuff. Now at this point, you can see the tunnel changes again. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit easier, because actually this is quite, I mean, I've got quite a big stride, but it's just that little bit too much for it to be comfortable. But then it becomes a concrete lined tunnel. So what's this bit about? So you've got a date there. So So what's because it's changed, Phil, from this to this.
Yeah, well, I don't know where the outcropping from above started, but certainly you'll see some pictures of this being lowered in down the huge outcropping they did into the base of the bay. And when they lowered these pipes in, they joined them all the way up, and then they made it inside a box section. If you look at that, this was produced in 2015, which ties in with the 10 year ago what we think it was.
Yeah.
So this has been produced and come straight down here, really.
Got you. Now obviously 2015 then, when this collapsed, it doesn't affect anyone because no one's down here, or at least it shouldn't be. And obviously Grinkle Mine is closed in 1930, so it's not affecting anyone. But obviously going back into the old days, you know, when you'd have collapses like that, you know, that would take out a lot of men. Which you forget really, do you know what I mean? That side of the Industrial Revolution and stuff. You look at the engineering and you think, wow, it's incredible, but at the same time, necessity is the mother of all invention, and generally back in the day, it only became necessary when something bad had happened. And something bad happening normally meant a lot of men would lose their lives. So what's going on here, Phil? Something's happened?
Yeah, this is an original drainage point coming into the original tunnel, so they've obviously had to keep it.
Oh, okay.
They've incorporated it in. You can see the arch of the pipe there, look.
Yeah, you can.
It's a water discharge point into it. They've had to plumb it into the modern structure.
Yeah, yeah. So that's going back to the late 1800s then?
Yeah, it looks like a very old one. And then of course, this is where you get to the original profile of the Beck.
Oh, here we go. So we get into the original Victorian tunnel then.
Look
Look at that. There you go. So you can get in that way. Now this is clearly where the collapse has been then. You can see that's where the collapse has been. And this has all been redone. And this is the original Victorian tunnel. Now I have to be aware of where I put my feet because it's hella uneven. Mate, this is incredible. Like, mate, this is so old. I'll tell you what, Vinny, it's getting close to the top of those wellies, mate. I don't know why I'm laughing, it's me in a minute. So it's just this bit that's really deep in it, and then beyond this, you're laughing. Says me optimistically. Okay, so we managed to get through it. Not too bad, to be fair. Now what have we got here?
That's at the far end of Grinkle Mine, there's a mine adit, and at the side of the mine adit there's a brook. Now the brook comes underground and comes and discharges in here, but where it comes into a tunnel there's a lead that supplies water to the Grinkle Mine. So the Grinkle Mine goes that way and then the rest of it discharges into here.
Got ya. So this is the water they don't need to supply the mine basically, it just comes off and in there.
The brook just discharges.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so we're nearly done now. But I can see there has been another collapse slightly further down, so you can see there's wooden beams now holding it up. So this is obviously the original section. What's going on here? There would have been more beams in there then.
I don't know how the beams have been put in.
By the look of it, but they're not there now, which is concerning. Now if you look forward, just ahead of where Steve is, you can see there's another collapse right at the end there, which is a recent collapse, so you know it's clearly still very unstable here. Suddenly it gets quite deep again. Oh. And we're through, but there you go, look, you can see where That's the original culvert, the original 1880s culvert. And this has all come down. I don't know if that was a bird or a bat. But let's clamber out. And we're out. So that's the other end of it. And there again you can see where that collapse has happened. Oh, I'm causing a rave with my torch for some reason. So that's us. Thank you so much for watching. Just a quick one through Grinkle Mine culvert, but we were literally around the corner at the mine, weren't we? It seems silly to not do it. Thank you so much for watching. I've had a great time with you lads.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm shattered now and I'm ready for my tea. But cheers lads.
Supper.
Supper. Nice one. I'll see you next time.
Yeah.